let's look at how advanced dynamic fields can help with deliverability and also with personalization at scale. Now, to access our dynamic fields, you can click on this little wand button, and you'll notice you have access to a whole bunch of dynamic fields. For example, our basic ones like email, first name, last name, title. Our sender dynamic fields, which would be something like your first name, your last name, your email. And lastly, you guys have advanced dynamic fields where you guys can leverage other data points for more personalization. For example, the person's title, the person's department, the person's industry or location. In this case, I'm using easier dynamic fields just by making small tweaks to the email. It switches up the whole content of that email for each person. For example, I'm using random choice, and random choice could be used for a smaller segment of an email. For example, the signature or the subject line. And so everybody that's in this email is going to get either one of those choices under random choice. For example, best regards, regards, cheers, and kind regards. Same thing in this example I have for the subject line. Everybody's going to get either an option of low meetings, bad emails, missing quota, and we need more ops. Now, just by making these small changes, you'll notice that the email is going to look completely different for each and everybody that's in the sequence. And once you get the hang of it, you can leverage other dynamic fields to be a little bit more strategic when creating your sequences. And I have an example of that down here. In this case, I'm leveraging the lead's location, their title, and also their company size. So in this example, I'm saying, if their state contains California, we're going to say this message right here. We work with San Francisco-based companies like Slack, Dropbox, and Pilot. If their state contains Massachusetts, New York, or Texas, we're going to say this message right here. And if they're from anywhere else, this is kind of like your safety net, they're going to get this message right here. Now, on the other example, I'm also using their title. If their title contains VP or Vice President, they're going to get this message right here. If their title contains Director or Head, they're going to get this message right here. And if they're anything else, for example, if there is a manager somewhere in the sequence, they're going to get this message right here. And lastly, I'm using their company sizes. So if that lead's company size is 1,000 to 5,000 employees, they're going to get this message right here with this case study. If their company is 500 to 1,000 employees, they're going to get this case study right here. And if they're anything else, they're going to get this case study right here. And again, as I go through these leads and how it's going to look like for them, the email looks completely different for each and every one of those leads. And that's how our dynamic fields help with personalization at scale.